Okay, so I'm back live on YouTube. I had a few technical dramas earlier. I was on the wrong channel for a start, starting a live stream. Wasn't very intelligent of me. And now I'm back. I'm just going to do a little bit and see if anyone rocks up with any questions. I like to give an opportunity to support people. Anyway, I've been down in Dartmoor, one of my favourite places, and just being on Dartmoor and camping on Dartmoor, sleeping on Dartmoor, it's like a moor in the southwest of England. It's a fantastic. It's like an energy bath. You're being bathed in energy somewhere from the rock, the ground, or whatever. And I find it quite a powerful experience personally. I really find it quite a powerful experience. And my intention is to try and do 3 or 4 days more down there, even if it's getting very cold, and so I can just kind of get into it. It's curious, having done a certain level of opening work on my own body and my own practice with bioenergetics. It's like I'm discovering that even very simple basic stuff that I can do really has quite a deep and profound effect on me. And just literally being in a certain area and being there seems to have quite a profound effect on me, being out in nature in Dartmoor. Anyway, I'm quite busy at the minute. I've got a workshop next week, spiritual boot camp. I've also got quite a few things coming up, a tutorial day coming up here at Leela. I've also got in November a workshop. I'm helping Elliot Hulse with a workshop in London, and also getting together. I've got a London bioenergetics group, and December also I've got a few things going on. So I feel like for myself, I've got a nice number of workshops coming up, keeps me busy promoting them and putting a bit of energy out onto YouTube and doing more gut and belly centered work on myself and just trying to keep moving with that. I'm interested in that stuff. I'm interested in it. I noticed this gut centered work creates a kind of resilience, kind of inner resilience inside. And I'm not so affected by stuff going on around me or people giving me shit. I work in some quite intense areas sometimes, or I'm in some quite intense stuff. And in the past, I could more easily internalize negativity and go down. And when it was coming from the outside, I would kind of agree with it in my own mind or something and go down and contract. And I'm noticing the more energy I get lower down my body in my gut, the less my tendency to do that is. I have increased resilience and increased ability to really function well on my own and get out into the world and get stuff moving and do it. So that is quite exciting for me. And I'm slowly stepping up. I'm a little disappointed in myself. Well, not really disappointed in myself, but I haven't quite got this. I've had the intention since the summer to get a proper kick-ass men's group going, like once a month, one evening a month for guys who really want a fucking challenge with bioenergetics and also with some level of group encounter process. And I haven't got it together yet. I'm still looking a little bit for a venue in Brighton. I've got a venue in Brighton, but I wanted to co-lead it with a buddy, and he's a little bit like, ooh. So it hasn't quite come along yet. And I'm also looking to I'd like to do something like that in Bristol too. So that's a challenge, the challenge for me right now. But I'm waiting a little bit just to see who bites and who's got energy for it, in the sense of really helping get it together and get the word out there. So that's a little bit where it feels it's at. I like to work experimentally, and not, to take things a little bit on the edge where other workshop leaders aren't going, but where I still feel confident to be on the edge and just move step by step from there. That's my approach with workshops. Mohammed, hey man, how are you? You're in Morocco or Algeria, I seem to remember. Hi man, good to hear from you. Are you still doing some daily bioenergetics? Bit of bow and arch or the triple open or something like that. It's in intense work, but it's really worth it. I don't know who else is doing gut-centered work out there. There must be other therapists or teachers, shaman and that kind of thing, but fucking hell is that stuff good. It's good. It takes a long time. It's a slow, quite progressive investment, I find, but bloody hell is it good. I can feel much more my belly starting to operate, and this feeling like my mind can start to relax and I can just kind of be myself. And it's a long, slow journey, and I'm not fully there yet, but it's coming. It's coming, this sense of being able to sit inside myself in my belly and communicate from there and not be too busy with stuff. Mohammed, what can I do to help my son to release and to start speaking with flow? Actually, he's stuttering. He's 9 years old. I mean, I'm not an expert on stuttering, but I guess it's basically a form of anxiety. And anything you can do to make him feel like he's okay as he is going to support him, in my opinion. It's going to really support him, Mohammed. Anything you can do to make him feel like, whatever you do, son, it's okay. Whatever you do, I'm here for you. And whatever wherever you go to, I'm here to support you. Because I think the more that he can feel the support from the father and the mother, the more he can feel he's okay to be himself. And on a psychological level, that is kind of the root of stuttering, that anxiety just to be myself in the moment, So that's what I'd advise. That you can just support him by letting him feel like, hey, he's okay. He's a good guy and he's okay. That would be my advice. When it comes to exercises, yes, you can do stuff to open the throat, basically, to start to make more sound. But make sure you don't push him too much. The guy's only 9 years old. He's still a young guy. The bottom line is he has to feel you're there for him and that you're really supporting him to be himself. Okay, I hope that's a useful answer and it makes sense to you, Mohammed. Anyway, if anyone else has got a little issue out there and whatever, then I'm happy to give it a crack. Sam 2024, what can help people who are moody and can't regulate their feelings? Essentially, the kind of pathway that I teach is not really regulation. Basically, a lot of psychotherapeutic approaches and CBT are about regulation and change. What I teach is to open your gut center and to open your heart center. And then you can hold more feeling within you without having to kind of go into spinning out, being moody, changing your behavior. You don't need to avoid the raw conflict, the raw kind of energy of emotion that's stirred up inside of you by life. So, the kind of approach that I look at, I would advise to start doing the bow and arch exercise daily. For how long you can do it. If you can do, 2 minutes up and 2 minutes down 3 times around, that's 12 minutes. That's great. And also to open up your gut and your belly, try doing the triple opener exercise or some basic belly breathing. I need to make a note of that because people are telling me the triple opener is too fucking hard and it's too much for them, which is fair enough. And I take the feedback and I want to do a more gentle version, which still gets people opening up the belly, opening up the gut. So that's my basic approach. I'm not really into regulating your feelings so much. I'm more trying to create the inner openness so that so that you can basically allow the feeling. When your chest is more open, you can feel a depth of sadness. You can feel a depth of sadness, and it's okay. You don't need to avoid it. When your gut is open, you can feel like an angry motherfucker, and it's okay. So that's the basic approach. It is not easy. It is not easy. It is not easy at all. It is difficult, it is difficult. There's no doubt about it. But, you don't need to give up. Finally, it's down to you. If you want to take this approach, you have to work at it and you have to take the steps. Then you can get the support. But if you want to do it, you can do it. I never met anyone who I felt like they really couldn't do it. You can always take steps. But the problem is you have to overcome your mind's negativity. And the defensive layer of the mind is always active as you start to go into areas of your being where there's trauma or unexpressed stuff or areas where you haven't been in before. I'm going to do a presentation called Understanding Anxiety soon, and that should hopefully help people a little bit. Sorry, at least have a model for understanding anxiety, for understanding why we develop these areas of our being where we don't want to go, and how anxiety develops around that, and and this kind of thing. Anyway, I hope that's useful for you, Sam, and I hope you can stick with it, man. Stick with it, get the support, and keep opening. Because it's a deep journey, and you can do it. Lien Milleri. Hi, Jeff. Do you think there is any connection between certain illnesses and energy blocks in our body? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think there is a huge connection between certain illnesses and blocks in our body. I mean, My number one tip for avoiding illness is having, and you probably might not like it, is have a cold shower every day instead of a hot one in the morning, because it will kick your immune system and it will kick your inner system, and your immune system will kick back. You know, your immune system is like an army in a sense, and you want the army to be sorted. You know, you want them to be strong and powerful. You know, you might not really agree with wars and conflicts and stuff like that. Fair enough. I don't really agree with them myself, but nevertheless, in inside your body, you want your immune system to be fit and active. You don't want it to be like a bunch of old men kind of lurking about, oh yeah, we'll try and deal with this problem now, or something like that. That's not very useful. And the quickest way to get your immune system really powerful is to give it a daily level of regulated shock, like a cold shower. It's very, very powerful in healing illness. In relation to energy blocks, yes, there's a connection. You can do energy healing work. I tend to work more with the body, more physically, but you can also work at an energetic level. My personal experience is that when you work with bioenergetics or these deep body-based therapies, you know, you really have to go through some stuff to do it. And somewhere the effects are deeper and longer lasting. That's my take on it. I hope that's useful. I hope that's useful, Leanne. Victor Freeman, I like when you said you can't avoid the feeling, you have to integrate it and move forwards. Yeah, it's basically true. You know, I mean, we learn to avoid feelings. That's the bottom line. You know, as little kids, we cannot necessarily hold huge feelings inside of us. That's why kind of older cultures, which have been going a long time, tend to be very protective of their children for the first 3 to 5 years. They're like little princes and princesses. And then they come out and they're in the world. But that's why, you know, and in the West, there's far more possibility. I mean, there's possibilities everywhere for trauma and all sorts of shit to happen. And then, you know, this defensive layer is set up inside of us to protect us from feeling, and it keeps on operating. But the bottom line is we have to give ourselves space to feel more, and to open our bodies and to be open to it instead of hiding in escape behaviors. And I say we must, but of course, we don't have to. You can just carry on with the same old boozing, drinking, taking drugs, or whatever you want to do. So, yes, you know, the more that you can allow feeling in your life, the deeper your life will be, and the more amazing a being you will be, and the more people will be interested to come towards you. There's no doubt about it. Next question, Sam. How can you talk about low self-esteem? Low self-esteem is a defense strategy, you know. I had very low self-esteem. When I was a kid, my perception was that it was dangerous around my adoptive family and what was going on around me. So I learned to keep my head down and act small, act like a little person. Up here in my prefrontal cortex, I created a self-image of being a small person, of being, and I'm not physically particularly big, but I mean small in terms of, you know, what I can do. I'll just keep out of the way and be low self-esteem. It's only me, only me. That is a defensive reaction. You have a choice whether you want to stop it or not. Simple as that. You stop it. You progressively start to take more risks, opening up, approaching people, doing stuff out in the world, and you keep breathing and feeling your body. You come out of low self-esteem. The first thing to do in a strategy like this, you have to take responsibility yourself. No blaming the parents. No blaming the trauma, no blaming whatever's happened to you, no matter how bad, no listening to the but, this happened, but, gibbering bullshit of your mind. You take full responsibility for what's happened in your life and you start to move forwards. That's the bottom line. You know, a lot of people out there, you pay them money and they'll give you a whole heap of nicey bullshit. You don't have to pay me fuck all and I'll just tell you the truth. I mean, if you come to me for sessions, you have to pay. But otherwise, on live stream, the bottom line is you stop blaming anyone for where you're at. You've used low self-esteem as an escape and avoidance strategy, and it's time to change it. It's time to change it. To progressively take steps to jump out of that. To say to yourself, hey, I can fucking do it, and do it, you know. And don't expect everyone to totally support you. You know, they won't basically, you know, it's how life is. And when you've been around a group of, maybe you've got a group of friends and, you know, you're the kind of loser, the lovable loser or something, you know, you got to jump out of that. And if you need to change friendships, you need to change friendships. You know, that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. You know, if you want to come out of low self-esteem, take responsibility that you use that as a defensive strategy in your life and start to change it. Start to change it now. Okay. Have you heard of Wim Hof method? If so, what do you think about it? Yeah, it's cool. I did some cold training last year on my own. My main issue of the Wim Hof method is I can't be fucked paying €200 to learn it on video. And that's my own personal issue. That's nothing to do with Wim Hof and the brilliance of his technique or anything like that. I saw a guy on YouTube demonstrating the Wim Hof method, and it was a bit like a kind of shamanic breath technique. I thought it was fine. My own personal teaching that I give to people who are interested in cold training is use it to feel more inside your body, rather than using your breath to take you into a slightly out of body state where you can do anything or whatever. That's okay. That's a kind of shamanic technique. I use it to bring you more in. So when I'm teaching cold training, which is something I probably should start doing again soon because it's getting a bit nippy now, it's October. You get out there in the cold in very little clothing and you do something like Osho chakra breathing and feeling inside your body, sitting there in your boxer shorts at -3 Celsius. I've done this shit for an hour, breathing into your body, and your mind is like, fuck this, I'm gonna fucking die, this is too cold, I've got to put my shirt on, I've got to get inside. Your mind is giving you all this stuff, and you keep feeling inside, particularly inside your belly, and you keep on breathing and breathing. And the bottom line is it starts to change. Yeah, it might sound painful, but it's not really painful. The cold is not painful. It's scary. It brings up certain core fears within your being. And if you're on a path of, you really want to change, it's actually really, really healthy to do this shit. The Wim Hof method, to me, and this is just my personal take because I think Wim Hof is a fucking awesome guy and a good dude, is basically that he's leading you a little bit into an altered state of consciousness and using that to create change. And that's not so much my own pathway. I tend to work very much with the social personality and who you are as a grounded individual. And so, there's nothing, and no disrespect to Wim Hof, but it's not really painful. It puts you in survival emotions straight away. You're out there, it's fucking cold, and you're in your underwear, and you have to breathe. You have to breathe like a maniac and feel your body, and it starts to create heat. And then your mind is like, what the fuck? I can be out here in -5. I can be out here in -5, sitting down, barely moving, breathing inside. Fuck, man, you come out of that and you think you can do anything, and you're fucking right. You come through that. In my younger days, I used to do things like fire walking or arrow breaking, these kind of breakthrough exercises where it looks like there's a challenge, and it looks like no way could I fucking walk across, 30 meters of hot coals or whatever. And you do it and you think afterwards, Jesus Christ, I can do anything. Or the arrow break, you get the old arrow in here under the Adam's apple and you lean into it and your mind is like, do not fucking do this. No fucking way. And you just do it. The arrow breaks and you come out of it. It's a breakthrough experience. And in a similar way, cold training is the same. Going outside in the freezing cold and not listening to your mind's bullshit and breathing like a maniac and feeling inside your body. Feeling inside is the key. The more awareness you get in your body, the more healthy you will be and the more psychologically whole you will be. And cold training is awesome. And of course, I talk like this, and I just have to see if I get out there and do some more. I did 10 days of it around last October, November 2017, when it was very cold outside. And it's really powerful in the mornings. I mean, it is really powerful shit. It's really powerful. So, I recommend it. The Wim Hof method, that's up to you. I think it's great. But my personal perception of it, and this is just me, was it's taking you into a bit of an altered state of consciousness. You can use the breath to do that. In shamanic techniques, they use the breath to do that. Okay, let's check in on the chat, as they say on YouTubers say in America. Mohammed, hey man, can bioenergetics practice substitute a daily yoga practice? I mean, bioenergetics looks a bit similar sometimes to yoga, but it's different, I mean, yoga can put you in your body nicely and give you some flexibility, Bioenergetics is opening the body. It's opening the body's muscle system. It's got that specific intention to get the shit out, So it's a different thing. But for sure, it can substitute a daily yoga practice. And if you feel like you're not missing the yoga, no worries. There's not hard rules about it. Anyway, so that's what I would say about it. What's what I would say about it. And you, hi, you. Are you? I'm interested. You Chinese, Korean? Maybe is that Korean name? I'm not sure. I get a few people from Korea. Cool if you are. Any tips and warnings before starting to take cold showers? I heard some people say they get sick the first time they do it. I mean, how I do it is I get in the shower, I turn on the tap, and I know I've got 1 second and the cold water is going to descend on me, and I put my head straight under it. Straight under it. You get a huge energetic shock. Your mind goes in a little bit of a panic. Well, I've been doing it 2 years now, so it's not so bad. It is challenging. It is challenging. The only tip and warning, the only tip I would give you is not to think about it. Just because if you think about it, you won't do it. You know, you just won't do it. Your mind will convince you not to do it. And just do it. Commit to doing it for like a month. Commit to doing it for like a month and just try it and see how it goes. Commit for a month. Say, right, for a month, I'm going to do this shit. I'm going to take a cold shower for 2 minutes every morning. And you can use soap and everything and shampoo. You know, it all works the same in cold water, I find. It all works the same. Some people do hot first and then cold. To me, that's a bit wimpish. I would just do the cold, personally. I would just do the cold. They get sick the first time they do it. Do you mean vomiting or getting ill? I don't know. I guess you could do. You know, at the end of the day, I'm just giving out advice based on my own experience. That's all I'm talking about. It's my own experience. You know, if you really feel like it's making you ill, then it's probably not a good time to do. It's probably not good to do it. It's probably not good to do it. I haven't personally heard of anyone telling me that they were getting sick from doing it. But you know, if you get sick, then you know, for sure you gotta look careful, look at it. Or it might be just something you need to move through. I'm a big fan of the cold showers. I don't know so much about coldness work, but I think it's revolutionary. I really do. You know, if I was running the NHS in the UK, I would have everyone on cold showers. Really, I'd have them all on cold showers. Whole population, 70 million or whatever it is. No fucking excuses. Cold shower. I'd create a big switch somewhere so I could switch off everyone's hot water and force them to have cold showers. Because I say, look, we can't be spending however many billions of pounds we're spending on the NHS. We can't be doing it. It's making the country weak, and I want the country to be strong. I'd be like one of those old Chinese emperors in the fucking Ming dynasty or something, you know. It's like everyone's got to get up and get their own asses kicked, you know. That would be my take. Needless to say, I probably won't become health minister soon, but that would be my take. Velkta, I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Why hasn't bioenergetics become mainstream? It's one of those things that since it's been around the 50s and 60s, it's been around out of, you know, West Coast America. People are always saying this is so fucking amazing, it's going to become mainstream, but it doesn't. And I think it's because it's a bit confrontational. You know, we live in a culture where most people are busy avoiding all the shit that they've been storing in their being. They're avoiding it, you know, and maybe they do a bit of yoga or they go to the gym and stuff. But when you start to do bioenergetics, you open up your body. You open up your body, and you know it's challenging. It's really fucking challenging. It's confrontational, and you may need support here and there. You may need to check in with like-minded people. That's why I have a couple of support groups that I've created around, but I don't quite give as much time as I'd like to. But there's still an environment where people who are into the same thing can come together and share their experiences. So that's my take on it. So many more people need to know about it, given how practical it is. I mean, my feeling is, you know, when something's time has come, it will come. There's nothing so powerful as an idea or a practice whose time has come. It will just come out there, you know. The same as like mindfulness, you know, same as yoga 10 years before, you know. It's just somewhere, it just comes out and people just get into it. And maybe one day bioenergetics. But my instinct is it'll take a while yet. You know, it'll take a while yet. It'll take a while yet. People need to kind of get into, you know, my route into therapy was through crisis. You know, I became aware that my life was an utter fucking mess and I needed to change it, you know, and sometimes you need like a calamity on a world or countrywide level or a whole town or whatever in order to enable people to get up and kick their own asses to move their energy. Who knows? Who knows, man? Ethan, hey, man. Hey, Dave. Great to catch another one of these. How are you? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I've just been on Dartmoor. I was talking about that at the beginning. And that you know, I love being on Dartmoor, and I want to spend a bit more time there because it's like being immersed in a kind of energetic bath, and the scenery is gorgeous and everything and amazing, you know, and go with my girlfriend down the pub to eat some cheesy chips, like a little indulgence at the end of the day of moseying around, walking about and stuff. But camping on Dartmoor is just an awesome thing to do, to be you immersed in an energetic bath, and it gives you something over time. I want to do 4 days, and it's another thing that I need to not just talk about but do. But I've got basically a nice number of workshops coming up. Doesn't feel like it's too much, and at the same time, it doesn't feel like there's nothing going on. I've got a new YouTube channel on crypto passive income, which I've just started, and just projects and exciting things happening. A good friend of mine is having a 50th birthday party this weekend. I'm looking forward to that, and a lot of other friends of ours will be coming along, and so that'll be a really nice social time. That's always good for me, you know, because it's easy to spend too much time in front of a bloody screen. But anyway, I am feeling good. I've taken up going to the gym again the last couple of weeks, and done that for 2 years. Now I'm getting a little bit more. Yeah, I can feel the old muscles coming. I might even go for a little trip down there later. Possibly not. We'll see. Anyway, man, I hope you're doing good as well, and keep in touch, Dayman. Can you talk more about sexual repression, how it affects us, and how it affected you, and some differences you noticed? Sexual repression basically means, you know, pretty much everyone on this planet is horny as fuck, if you ask me. Osho said you'll be horny as fuck until about, he didn't use those terms, until about 42, and then you become more spiritual. Hasn't quite happened for me yet, but being 57. But, you know, we repress our sexual energy, you know, and the bottom line is the energy is always the same, you know. So if you're repressing your sexuality, you know, you're kind of going to be repressing energy in other fields. Yes, you can channel it a little bit, but there's nothing so healthy as being able to feel like, hey, I'm a sexually vibrant human being and I have a fucking right to be. And to move towards people that you're attracted to, you know. And, you know, it's better to regret something you have done than something you haven't, you know. When I look back at my own history of extreme shyness as a teenager and in my 20s, you know, it was fucking horrible. Getting drunk all the time to try and have the confidence to talk to women. I mean, an appalling strategy, but I kept it up for about a decade. Never really fucking worked. But, you know, I still did it, you know, and at some point I could do enough therapy. I was in my 40s to feel less repressed sexually. And then I was very happy. I think I was aged about 51 just to spend about a year shagging around, you know, and that was incredibly redemptive on some level, you know, stuff I never did in my teens and my 20s, you know, just go and be humping loads of women all over the place and be honest about it as well with them, not be leading them on and bullshitting them and stuff like that, and not being worried too much about who else they're doing it with or whatever. It's fun and it gets something out of your system, you know. Sexual repression is probably one of the main ways that culture or whatever, or religion certainly, controls us, you know, because you know, it's a core drive, sexuality. It's a core drive, you know. We are finally the product. Our personality is a product of an evolutionary algorithm, if you want to call it that, you know. You know, and it's around food, it's around defense and fighting, and it's around shagging, it's around sex, you know. So you need to feel okay to be sexual, you know. You need to start to take the blinkers off, to take the restraints out, and to say, hey, I'm a fucking sexual being, and it's really okay, you know. Then, you know, it helps you feel good about yourself. And nowadays, you know, I'm in a relationship, you know, maybe it'll go on forever, maybe it won't, whatever, you know, but it's like it has challenges to it and stuff like that. But I like that as well. You know, I don't really want to just be totally settled in something that's all solid and fixed. It's a little bit too safe for me, and I miss the challenge. It doesn't really work for me. Anyway, the challenge in relationship and in around openness or whatever is to just be emotionally open to whatever's going on. Mohammed, is it better to stick with one type of exercise for a long time or change the exercise every day? I would stick with an exercise for 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. You know, that's more what I'm teaching these days from giving one-to-one sessions and running groups. Stick with an exercise for a little while. Stick with it so that you really know it internally. Make a commitment. Don't change every day, because the danger is that you're avoiding stuff by the changing. So with the core exercises that I teach, like the bow and arch and the belly work, you know, do them every day if you can, or commit, write down, you know, 3 times a week, once a week, whatever, and do them. That is how you create change. And that also creates a certain discipline in you, not discipline like a military fucking soldier or something, but discipline that it starts to, you know, you do what you say, and it gives you self-respect. It gives you respect of others. I would stick with the core exercises and do it like that. I want to write my schedule. Yeah, to put it out like that, man. Bow and arch every day for 2 weeks, and make sure you're really breathing and you're checking your body position, because I see people doing it all the time and they're not getting the body position right. They're not getting it right. Look at my bone arch masterclass. Write anything down you need to write down and go for it like that. Okay. But I've been meditating on trying to aim my mind towards the highest possible good imaginable, and bioenergetics, I believe, fits. It pushes your physical limits and activates genes. Yeah, bioenergetics is great because it gets the shit out, you see. We try and be positive about life, you know, that's natural. You know, initially I was just negative about life and in a lot of defense. But once I came out of that, I tried to be positive about life. But the negativity that was stored in my mind kept dragging me back down. And that was because of the body, basically. It's because of all the repression that's held in the body. And as you get that out, you mobilize more energy to go in the direction you want to go in, which will be positive. You know, it's not, you're not gonna actually get all your energy freed up and just want to be Hitler. It ain't gonna happen, you know. You're gonna go for positive. Once your heart is open, you're gonna go for love, you know, and being a fucking awesome human being and really being with people, you know, and really being able to lead them as well. There is nothing that I know of, if you want to be a real leader of people, that bioenergetics is better than bioenergetics. Nothing, you know. It's good to do other work as well, but bioenergetics is a core because it mobilizes all the shit that's in your being that you've been storing from a prefrontal cortical level and gets it out, gets it integrated. Yeah, man. Dayman, what do you think the best exercise for sexual repression are? I mean, the bottom line is you just have to go out and meet people that you find attractive and tell them you find them attractive. Basically, simple as that. With exercises, any of the exercises will start to release, you know. You can do some pelvic exercises. Look on my YouTube channel for pelvic stuff, pelvic release workout. That can also help. But the bottom line is it's a lot of behavioral therapy that you need to go into situations and to let go of the shyness and just start to meet more people, meet people you're attracted to. When I saw someone who I was really sexually attracted to when I was younger, I'd fucking avoid them like fuck. Far easier to go home and have some fantasy about them than it was to go up and talk to them. No fucking way would I do that shit, you know. But you know, that is obviously something that you want to overcome. So the main thing is to go out and meet people and find a way to connect with someone. If you find them attractive, find a way. Ethan, do you still find yourself holding emotion inside? I've started to breathe and feel, as you say, a lot, and it gives an insight into different ways I repress and I don't express them in the moment. Yeah, I still find myself holding emotion inside. You know, I've still got stuff held in my back when I don't really allow myself to be fully in my feelings. You know, sometimes I don't fully allow my sadness in situations. Sometimes I don't fully allow my anger in some situations, but I'm much more in touch with my feelings. And, you know, I can be aware when I'm holding a lot inside and find an environment if I need to share or release, you know. So it's an ongoing journey for me. It's an ongoing journey for me, man. When you say breathe and feel, are we supposed to feel something? I mean, I sometimes feel like energy releasing, but I don't know if it's working or not, or what I'm supposed to feel. Well, the reality is no one knows what you're supposed to feel, you know. That part is your mind. You know, breathe and feel just means feeling your body. Feel as much of it as you can. Because this sensation of having a body, the feeling sensation of it is it's actually a doorway into very deep levels of being. But without explaining or going into that story too much, the more you can feel your body, you know, when you start to feel your spine, you feel natural support. You don't need to cling on to other people or always be Mr. Nice Guy to get friendships. You just feel, I can be myself. When you feel your belly more, you know, then you can, you know, you feel your animal intensity, your passion for life, your ability to go forwards, you know, and to just take a position about something without being too worried about what other people think. You find your natural center. And you're asking me also, can you talk about the belly a little more? I'm going to do another thing on the belly. I need to write that down because the triple opener is a bit too intense for some people. And I've actually been developing it in my morning workshops. So let's have a look. Belly, it's a reminder to self, belly vid. And I'm going to talk a little bit more. There are some videos I've got out there about the belly, so feel free to check those out. But the bottom line is to feel the belly more, and then we integrate, you know, we add certain exercises in to support you to get in there. But all they're supporting you to do is to feel your belly more. It's not an esoteric technique. It's not a shamanic thing, you know. You don't need to be in an altered state of awareness. You just feel your gut center more, because most people have got very little feeling down there. Very little feeling, basically. Daniel Peter, oh man, haven't heard from you for a while. Hey Dev, when I do the bow and arch, my arms and legs tingle and get numb. Probably a good effect. You know, no one knows what people feel, but I often used to get like a cool energy running through there and a tingling, a kind of cold tingling when I was doing the bow, usually when I was more in the bow position, you know. And it's probably good. If you find yourself getting completely numb and you're worried you're going to fall over or something, then, you know, you need to desist. But it sounds to me rather more like a kind of energetic block, you know, or a layer of stuck energy in the body starting to move. So I would say continue with that and see if you move through something and you come out of the session feeling like, whoa, I've let go of something. I would say it's a good sensation. The reality is that we've got layer upon layer of stuck energy and holding and fear and stuff in our being, you know, compressed. We're compressed energetically, and you move through those layers slowly. You can't shift a whole lot in one go. It wouldn't be possible, and it wouldn't be useful either. You know, you'd spin your mind out. Bit by bit, we can move through it. Yeah. Ethan, if anyone here wants someone to talk to about bioenergetics or anything similar, you can reach me on Messenger. I go by the same name. It'd be great to talk to somebody. Cool, man. Cool. It's really great, you know, because we're on a deep journey when we're into bioenergetics, you know, and other people at work or whatever probably not understand you, or maybe your friends and stuff. That's why there's a Telegram group that is linked from my normal videos if you're on Telegram. And also I'm on there, and also a Facebook support group where you can meet like-minded people. There's not so much activity on that at the moment, or the Telegram group, come to think of it. But, you know, if people put stuff out, then, you know, you create a little bit of energy. So it's great you're offering that. And also feel free, anyone, to check out the support groups I've got going. Awesome. Today I feel really sad after doing the bow and arch yesterday. Yeah, you know, it's bringing up feelings, man. And it's just, it's an act of a mature person when we can sit there and just feel it and see what we need. You know, just to keep feeling what's going on. I think that's really a great move. That's really a great move, man. Okay, I just wish you all the best, Danny. I'm going to do a couple more minutes. If there's questions, if you've got a question, stick it out now. I started this stream a little late because I've got another channel that I've just started on cryptocurrency, on passive income, and I accidentally started the stream on that and wondered why no one was tuning in. Anyway, okay, one of my technical dramas. But if you do have another question that you would like to put out, then, or something that you want to share, then please take the opportunity now. Otherwise, I'll be off for a week. I want to get some videos together. I've got a list of them somewhere. It's not right in front of me at the moment, but I want to start doing regular videos. I enjoyed doing some about negativity the other day, and just putting stuff out and sticking with it. You know, that, I guess, is my basic learning from YouTube and really from life. Really, you know, it's like just sticking with stuff, sticking with what I believe with, sticking with what I believe in, and just keep on doing it. Every now and then my mind gets a bit negative, but I just see what I need and check in with myself. You know, do I want to keep making videos? And the answer's kind of, yeah, I do. I want to get out there and just put myself out. Sometimes maybe I look a bit crazy or whatever, you know, people have judgments, but finally, you know, I got to do it. That's awesome. You're doing bioenergetics camp with Elliot Hulse. Yeah, his grounding camp. He got in touch with me a couple of months ago and said, hey, do you want to come along and support me? He said, yeah, man. You know, I'm a little bit nervous, and I can see my mind thinking, oh my God, well, it's Elliot Hulse and whatever. But, like, you know, I know I will be fine. I will feel into my belly as I travel along to the places somewhere in the West End. I haven't looked at it yet. And just see how the day goes. It'll be great to meet Elliot anyway. And I think he wants me to lead an Osho meditation or something like that. So I'll be really happy to support him with that. I'll see what he comes up with. And I've seen he's promoting it out there and putting emails out, which is cool. And hopefully he gets a nice crowd. I might check in if I'm free that on the Saturday as well to see if I can go along to his question and answer thing. You know, if it's something I believe in, it's supporting young guys to really step up, because I feel like, you know, they don't get the support. You know, in more traditional cultures, there was whole layers of initiation. You went from boy to man, you know, and there's none of that shit going on in our culture. And the reality is with patriarchies is they don't like young guys. to be brutally honest. They want to keep them under control, because if there's one thing that's a threat to a patriarchy, it's a load of young guys, because they got that Teflon ego and they've convinced the government is wrong, and they'll just try and bring them down, you know. So the patriarchy reacts by starting lots of wars and sending all the young men off to fight and hopefully get killed, basically. That's their way of dealing with the situation. And it can be challenging working with young guys, because you've got that Teflon ego. You always think you're right. And, you know, but at the same time, there's no need to send them all off to war to get killed. So I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I do see the value of the army. I see the value of the discipline and the conditioning and the good stuff the army gives. I was never in the army. I was brought up for a little while in a garrison town. But the reality is, you know, that you know, there's no need for half these wars. And on a deeper level, all that's really happening is the patriarchies around the world are getting together and say, let's have a war with each other and kill off all our young men so we can hold on to power. It's a basic dynamic between old men and young men. The old man is scared that the young man is going to come up and take over, and they don't want it. They don't want it. Danny, I completely agree. What's your thoughts on NoFap, if you know what that is? No masturbation, isn't it? Something that I don't know what it stands for, but it's what's my thoughts on it? I have a pragmatic attitude towards it. If you're a 19-year-old guy and you're horny as fuck and you're really not going to masturbate, you know, can't you just, you risk sending yourself into a crazy fucking state. I think you've got to be pragmatic. You know, maybe you just need to limit a bit. You know, you just need to limit a bit. Personally, that's my own personal thing. I very occasionally do it these days, very occasionally. And I don't find it affects me so much. But one thing to watch out for with masturbation is too much mental imagery, you know, because if you're watching a lot of porn as well, you know, it's also, it can send you into this mind world where you're not really relating with women on the outside world. Your brain is just conditioned just to see them as sex objects. And it's not a very satisfying life. Apart from anything else, it's not a very satisfying life. So I don't totally agree with NoFap. I don't really agree with Migtar either, you know, men going their own way. There's nothing really wrong with it. But most of the people I see who are into it, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's like they're a bit in denial somewhere. They're a bit in denial for me. They're a bit in denial. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. But some of the guys I see, I judge things not by the intellectual kind of concept so much, but by the people I see doing it and whether I kind of feel them and resonate with them. And I don't feel it so much. Erica, why must we keep our eyes open while doing the exercises? Truth is, you don't have to keep your eyes open. I mean, some you need to because you've got to look around if they're movement exercises. But with a bow and arch, for example, it's normally taught with eyes open. Not everyone. And I think that's generally good, but you also can do it with eyes closed. It's not really going to fuck you up in some way. One take on it is sometimes it can be useful to increase the power of the exercise to have a soft focus on something. Even in the leaning, in the arch part, you know, looking behind you at something on the wall, soft focus on it. You can get quite an energy going somewhere sometimes, and that can really support you. And I do encourage people to keep their eyes open, but it is not, to me, like some kind of religious edict. You must have your eyes open. No. The only time I will definitely tell people to open their eyes is when I think they're in danger of crashing into the wall or something like that, or another person, you know, then open your eyes. You know, you've got to look after the space. But otherwise, you know, you can do it without, but it's good to try both. I hope that's a useful answer. We're coming to the end now. Mohammed Butafa, hello, man. Can I feel and breathe deeply and secretly if the emotion emerged in the day? Yeah, of course you can. The bottom line is, you know, we open up the body, but the feelings don't always come out straight away. You know, maybe later in the day they just come out naturally, or maybe later in the day something triggers them. You know, and the bottom line is when you're triggered, breathe and feel your body. Breathe and feel your body. Okay. Last question. What are your thoughts on doing things that scare you in order to grow? It's good, but make sure you don't spin yourself out. Make sure you don't spin yourself out. I've seen people who really into challenging themselves, and when I see them on YouTube or when I meet them, they're not in their body. They're not in their fucking body. They've done the challenge, but they've done it by fucking leaving. You know, they're not in their body. Yes, they're walking the streets, talking to every hot-looking model in town, but they're no longer present inside themselves or whatever the challenge is, you know. I once sat on the edge of Victoria Falls at the age of 19. But which was, in looking back, an incredibly fucking stupid thing to do. Is it's about, I don't know, 80 meters high or something, and the park ranger came legging over to see me. But I just wanted to challenge myself in that moment. No fucking way would I do it again, age now. But the fact is, take regular small risks is what I would say. Take regular small risks. Take regular small risks and keep moving, and make sure you're breathing and you're feeling your body. Keep taking risks. It's good to keep taking challenges, especially when you hit 40. Keep on taking challenges. But even if you're not 40, take some challenges. Okay, guys. Thank you. Good luck on your events. Wish you all the best. Thank you, guys. Okay. So let's we support each other to keep moving forwards, keep moving deeper. Well done, everybody. Cool, guys. And I should be back next week, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, back next week. Tuesday, 6 p.m. Okay. Keep doing the bio. Tomorrow morning, bow and arch, whatever. Keep doing it. Triple opener. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.